let's do some things where we, and this resolution is messing me up. Let me go back over to debug mode. And there's a full-fledged debugger in here too, so you can do step-by-step debugging. And okay, here's my components. That's what I was looking for. Let's just do something simple. We'll throw in a login label. Login. And I'm going to drop in a text area. So we can type in a login. I'm going to drop in a password label. And a password text area. It's a pretty nice drag and drop capabilities. I tend not to use it too much, only when I'm doing the user interface. And we'll call that set button. We'll call it login. So now we have some basic interaction, and what I can do is just run it in the emulator so you can see it right away. There it is. It's got a functional button. You can type in it. The coding behind the scenes, let's take a look at that. There's certain things you may want to do, like adding IDs. That's a text area. I want a text input, so just copy that, paste that down there. And that's the password, right? So we're going to say display as password. It takes either true or false. I'll say true. So they won't be able to see what you're typing. If you know HTML, this declarative syntax is very easy. So that's how quick it is to develop a very simple application. Just a couple more minutes, or yeah. Okay, I can show you an application that we've been working on for a while. Allows this is called Kineticast. Actually, are there any questions at this point? What I'll do is I'll show you this application. I'll just run it. It's kind of like PowerPoint, but online. Allows you to take, there's a web-based tool that you can go in, you can pull in PowerPoint and mark it up any way you want, but you can also embed video and audio and then send that as if it was a PowerPoint presentation to any number of people. And you could put things like file attachments. So some people use it, like engineering firms and agencies would use it to attach large documents that can't be emailed. Well, you never know whether the person even got the email. Did they open the attachment? How many slides did they see? How much of the video did they see? So what happens is it tracks analytics about how the user is using the application and gives you an interface to be able to see how many people opened up the email and what did they do when they were inside this PowerPoint presentation that you sent them. And they needed a mobile interface to this. So this is the application I was telling you about that's just about ready to go out into the marketplace. And I just hard-coded my ID and password in here so we didn't have to deal with that. I'll hit login, and it's going to log in, and it's going to give me a list of available presentations that I have sent out to people that have been recently opened. So I can click on one. It gives me information about when it was opened. I can preview it, which won't work in the emulator at all, but if I was on a device it would. It will allow me to resend it to the person. Maybe they say, oh, I never got it. Well, let me go back to the office and I'll log in and I'll resend it to you. But wait a minute, I got the mobile app. I'll send it to you right now. Hit send. Wait a second, It sent it. And, oh, maybe you want to call them. So you can either call them on their home phone, or their office phone, their mobile. You can text them, hey, I just resent that. Let me know if you got it. Or you can send an email to them. Most of those links won't really work now because I'm emulating. But that's the gist of the product. You want to see some of the code that went into looking at it, or? Okay. It's a fairly standard Flex app, and it uses CSS. So a lot of the look and feel is stuff that, because I know CSS and web pages, I'm able to skin it pretty nicely. I created a splash screen, so that was that little image that shows up. And the first page is the first view is what I'm interested in. What should the user see? And that is this page right here. And there's a little bit more going on here. This is the login page. What I'm able to do is do this remote object call, which is a binary AMF call to a Cold Fusion destination. So there's a Cold Fusion server sitting out there. It has a service called the user service, and I can make requests of it. And when the user clicks on the login button, and I clicked on that login button, this function fires. I change the status message to logging in, please wait a minute, and I call login service.login user, passing in the login text and the password text. When I'm successfully logged in, I get a callback function. This function will fire. It's asynchronous, so I never know when that message is coming back, but when it does come back, I'm listening for it. It calls this function and allows me to do some very simple if statement stuff. If it's invalid login, then I can put a message, sorry, neither your username or password is found in the system. It's inactive. You have an account, but it's inactive. Otherwise, I know you're a user, and I can do all sorts of stuff. I can create a simple array collection. That array collection has already been optimized for mobile devices. I don't have to worry about hash or vectors or anything else. All these little things I've dropped on the screen are all highly mobile optimized. And I can create a user object. And then what I want to do is navigate, push a view onto the phone. And it's the most recent view. And that has very similar code to this. But what is interesting is they've optimized the point where when you move from one screen to another, it kills that screen that you were just on, because it doesn't want to add any more memory to the phone. So if your application is 10 pages deep, for whatever reason, you don't have 10 screens in memory all the time. But what they do keep around is the data that was used for those screens. So when you hit the back button, it automatically recreates that screen and associates the data with it. If you're doing the stuff I did in the native Android app when I was doing that work, that was driving me crazy. Where's my screen? I didn't realize I had to, either cache it somehow, pull it back, and then reassociate the data. So they've done a lot of things in the Air framework to make this a lot simpler. Things like orientation of the phone, that's handled for you. I didn't really have to write any code for that. If the phone rings, there's a phone interrupt message, event that I can capture if I want. They've also wrappered all the GPS functionality to make it very easy, as well as the accelerometer. Is the phone being shook or moved anyway? We can handle all those type of things very easily. So let me show you how to send email or text. That's the last thing I'll show you. That's on the detail page. And I think it's right here. Okay, when the user clicks those little icons, I don't know if I still have it open here. No. Those little icons to send an email. If you want to register, there's a URL. You navigate to URL. If you want to send a text message, where is that?
You're on the wrong document.
I am? Oh, thank you. Detail. That's the audio compiler that keeps you straight. Okay, so we have some basic PNG. There's an SMS, phone, mail. Okay, and we loop through the data when it comes in. We do different things with it based on what kind of data we have. But if they do click on something, we say navigate to a URL, and it could be just a URL, HTTP:/, and it goes to a web page. If you want to call somebody, you just pass in the phone number. If you want to send email to somebody, mail to. We know how to do mail tos. And then SMS to send a text message. I don't have to know the inner workings of each phone to send a text message. I just say SMS : and pass in the phone number. The phone does the rest. So I just found those type of things very helpful. And that's really, I mean, I could be here for hours showing you this stuff. But
Thanks.
that's all I have.
That's great.